Hi, Grandboy. Are you ready? This one is The Dance of the Bees. It is a hot summer day, and the beehive is buzzing with activity. The hive houses a large colony of about 80,000 bees, mostly female. The females are workers. They all have a job to do, and they are all busy, busy, busy. The youngest workers clean the hive. They also feed the colony's larvae, which are like worm-like baby bees. When these workers are about 12 days old, they'll have a different job. They will build comb cells, which are six-sided structures about 1/4 inch wide and 1/2 inch deep. Comb cells are made of wax that forms in special glands in the bees' bellies. The bees secrete the wax and pack it into shape. The cell fits together perfectly to make a grid called a honeycomb. You see the honeycombs and all the bees? There's the larvae. See that down in there? Between 18 and 21 days of age, workers change jobs again. Now they greet other hive workers called foragers. They have been gathering food outside. The foragers bring nectar to the hives. It is a sweet liquid that's collected from nearby flowers. The worker bees take the nectar from the foragers. They put this precious drops into the comb cells. Then they fan the liquid with their wings to help it dry. Over time, the nectar turns into a sweet, sticky honey. The bees will eat the honey for energy. The foragers have also collected a powder from the pollen. The foragers have also collected a powder called pollen from flowers. The workers gather the pollen and pack it into comb cells too. The pollen will turn into a food called bee bread. The bee bread is the bee's main source of protein. It's an important nutrient. See them? They're making honey. And those are the ones doing the bee bread. Can you see the stuff on their legs? Grandma can't see it. Maybe the next picture we can see. When a worker is about 3 weeks old, she is ready to leave the hive for the first time and become a forager. She will join her sisters in the outside world, gathering food for the colony. The bee flies out of her hive. She looks for colorful flowers to land on it. She cannot see the color red, but she can also see color blue, green, and violet. The bee can also see colors that people cannot see. Flower petals are marked with these colors, like a landing strip in an airport runway. The colors point the way to the flower's hidden nectar. The bee is also a good sense of smell. She uses her antenna to sense the delicious odors of nearby blooms. There's a bee getting the pollen. And there's a bee licking the flowers. Oh. The bee doesn't need to go far since the hive was built near a colorful bank of flowers. She swoops down and she pokes her head deep into the heart of the flower. Success! The bee finds the nectar hidden within the flower. She uses a tongue-like tube on her lower lip called a proboscis to suck the nectar into a special storage place in her stomach. Ooh, look it. There's the little pollen. While the bee drinks her fill, the flower's pollen gets stuck on her tiny hairs all over her body. The bee brushes most of the pollen into storage sacs on her legs, but not all. Some pollen remains on the bee's body, which makes her look fuzzy and yellow. Oh, look. See? There she is. There she is. I didn't know all bees were girls. Worker bees, I guess. The bee has made a good friend, but she can still carry more nectar and pollen. She is off to the next flower. Oh my goodness, look at all that on her. She's covered in the purple. I mean, oh gosh, it's sweating. The bee buzzes over and crawls inside the flowers. As she does, some of the pollen stuck to her hairs brushes off. It falls into the second flower. The transferred pollen will help the flower make seeds, which someday will grow into new beautiful flowers. By collecting food for the colony, the bee is also helping make more flowers and food for the future. They do that in a garden too, for vegetables. Now loaded with nectar and pollen, the bee flies back to the hive. She is excited. She has important news to share. The bee transfers her load of food to the younger hive worker. Then she rushes to the center of the hive to an area called the dance floor. She starts to walk, wiggling her body as she does. She switches back and forth between making circles and zigzag lines. With her dance, the forager communicates information about the flowers she has found. Her body movements describe the food's direction, distance, and quality. The bee found food close to the hive, so she dances mostly in a circle. Nearby, other bees are also dancing. The bee found food further away, so her dance is a long zigzag in the middle. The length of the zigzag shows the distance to the flowers. That's a big old honeycomb. And there's more bees. I'm sweating. Other foragers gather around the dancers. They watch carefully. When they think they understand the message, they leave the hive. They fly off towards the food the dancer has found. Ooh, those are pretty. The bee gathers more nectar and pollen. When they return with their bounty, they will do their own wiggle dance. In this way, they will all do their part to spread the good news. Look at all them bees and all them flowers. Working together, the bees build the colony's food stores. When winter comes, they will eat the food and survive. In springtime, when flowers bloom again, a new generation of bees will take over and the search and dance will resume. Doggies, look at all the bees. All right, that's it. All right. Night night.